Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to discuss a new topic, and it's called portfolio optimization. So last time we already started with computing for the portfolio returns and portfolio risk. Are we going to need those things for this lesson now? Yes, of course. So what will happen is that you will still need to compute for the returns and the risk based on what we did last time. However, we will add on to that by looking at another, let's say, a way to increase the returns or minimize the risk of your increase the returns of your portfolio or minimize the risk of your portfolio. So that's the subject of this topic. So also aside from that, you'll have to create what we call an efficient frontier. So for case number one, we're going to use. I'm going to ask you to download Philippine data, Philippine stock data. You might have to make use of Bloomberg, okay, in the library or in. I'm not sure if you still have Refinitiv icon in the library. I haven't checked. All right. This one pala yung sinasabi ko, Armand, yung senior ko last time. I'll share this in the chat box just in case others are not able to run their QMAO. So just copy this and try to load your QMAO. Okay. So I'd like you to run this class. We have already discussed this in the past. We're going to create an object called tickers. And what does tickers consist of? These are 8 assets: Apple, Google, Microsoft, Intel, Amazon, Netflix, Meta, and Tesla. And then we start with 2016-01-01 start date and end date 2025-12-31. And then we make use of QMAO's quant modes get symbols. Okay, we have done this in the past. Then we download the tickers objects here. We identify the start date and the end date. And then source is equal to Yahoo. Periodicity is equal to daily, and auto data sign is equal to true. From what we have discussed in the past class, these are all defaults. So you can also not include this in your code. It will still run as is. Okay, even class up to here, class from and to. However, R will default into 2007 up to the latest date yesterday. So we are only interested in cutting our data from 2016 to 2025. Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to run this. So when you run this class, you should have this class. You should generate this and tell me if you were able to do that already. I'll just give you a few seconds as a practice class for our quant mode package, quant mode functions. Okay, so we have downloaded these 8 assets. Okay, so what's the objective of our lesson is to create a portfolio of these 8 assets. And we want to create a data set where the log returns of the assets are merged. Okay, so far now we have only separate objects. If you take a look at your environment, you have Apple, okay, you have Amazon, etc., and they're all separated. Okay, so what we want to do is, okay, so this is now where we're going to use the power of QMAO. Okay, for those of you who don't QMAO, please bear with us. We'll use another method in a while. So QMAO has this function PF, price frame. So the long cut class is to extract the closing prices, or for example, this is your Apple. We can extract the adjusted prices or closing prices. These are the two prices that's mostly used in financial analysis, either the closing prices or adjusted prices for Apple, and then do the same for the other 7 assets. And then we merge them into one. Okay. And once we have these prices already, then we compute for the log returns. Okay. We compute for the log returns and then uh, that's the time we can make use of that data for our analysis, for our portfolio analysis. Okay, so one way to do it, let me just close some of the other object printouts here. Okay. One way to do it, class, is to make use of your QMAO. So in QMAO, there's a function called PF. So this is price frame. What does it do, class? Okay. What it does, class, is, okay, so we already have this one, these objects. We already downloaded it using get symbols. Okay, so we have already the Apple object, Google object, etc. Okay, and then sorry, wait. We don't have it yet, class. Okay, I stand corrected. We're going to make use of the get symbols and PF together. Okay, so you can see here that we have not yet downloaded Apple, Google, Microsoft. Okay, but you can directly make use of the PF function. Okay, so that we are able to extract Apple, Google, Microsoft, these 8 objects, and then we define the from and then to, and then we state what type of data we want to extract, and it's the adjusted data. And then na.omit is equal to true if there are any missing values, and then silent is equal to true. Okay, so let's run this first. Okay, and let's see what happens, class. If we are able to save on steps, or if we're able to be more efficient by running the PF function. And PF, class, comes from the QMAO package. Okay, run, please. Run. And then we now have our prices. We now have prices, class. Okay, let's check our prices object here. Okay, so what do we now have? We now have, class, a combination, an object containing all the adjusted prices of the 8 objects, okay, that we extracted using the get symbols function. So yan, all of the prices are already there. And we only used one function, yung PF lang, di ba? We only used PF, the PF function here. And we were able to consolidate, combine into one object, the prices object. Now, actually, we can go one step further, okay? Because from here, from the prices, we can already compute for the log returns. But we can also, go a step further and use the, so now go here, use the RF function here. Okay, so just copy what you did here, class, and then you just replace it with yung PF, replace it with RF. Okay, so you don't actually need to generate this object, this prices object containing the prices, because you can generate already the returns object. Okay, so how do we do this? Again, use the RF this time, not PF, RF, return frame, and then identify your object. You cannot use here tickers, no? You have to identify the assets. And then from is equal to start, to is equal to end. And then what are you going to extract? Adjusted prices, and then get the continuous, the log returns. And then let's see if this will work. NA.omit, and then silent is equal to true. Okay, and then let's view it class. Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds to run this object. Once you're done class, kindly chat in the chat box. I'll wait for your response. Once again, okay. Okay, so what we did was to use RF return frame, and when we run this class, we get this object consisting of the returns of, okay, let me rerun this. We get returns, and you notice that even if we placed NA.omit in our data, it does not remove the NA. So we have to manually here classify NA.omit is equal to true. Okay, so we have to manually remove the NA. Okay, returns -1 means the first row should be removed. Okay, now what about class? What about those of you who, let's say, you're you're having problems with your QMAO? Is there another method? Yeah, of course. What you can do is just manually extract the closing prices or adjusted prices from each asset, merge it, and then use the return that calculate function in order to get the returns, the log returns. But also another one is this one class. So let's take a look at this. Let's do this class. Okay. So first, going to make use of our tickers object. Remember, the tickers object is a vector consisting of the 8 assets. And then we're going to create a function x. And the function x is this is adjusted prices, get x, okay, from the ticker symbol. Okay, and then create a list apply. So this function will create a list. As you know, a list class is a type of a data structure which contains several types of objects that can be mixed. Okay, a list can contain numerical or character or date, etc. It can contain combination of data types. Okay, but here there will be only one type of data. It will be the adjusted close of your ticker symbols. And let's make this list one. Okay, so let's run this class. Control Enter. And let's take a look at what is inside your list one object. List one here. So as expected, this is a list. No? Let's click this. This is a list. And here, what does it contain? It contains 8 objects. So let me click this. Okay. Ayun niya mag-run. Nag-out of bounds. Okay, anyway. So what does it contain, class? A double, 2513 observations by 1. So this is your Apple class. Apple, okay, Apple prices. No? So you have here all the 8 prices, and they are separated. But these are all adjusted prices already. So what we do now, okay, we perform another function. Okay, and this function is what we call do that. Okay, here class. So let's create this object data. Okay, data. And then what do we do? Do that call. So we're asking do that call stands for doing something with your data. And that data class, that function is merge. So we're asking R to merge our data. What data? This list. What does this list consist of? This list consists of the adjusted prices of your 8 assets. So what R will do is that it will merge them into one and call it data. Okay, so let's run this class and tell me in the chat box class, please, what do you get? Please describe your data. How many rows? What does it contain? Okay, I'll wait for your response, class. What do you get? What's inside the object data? We use the do that call, no? Merge list. Waiting for you, class. Can you describe, please, what's that object data? What does it consist of? Everyone, why is it taking so long? All right. Thank you, Richard. Adjusted prices. Yes. Okay. So you're getting the adjusted prices, class. Why? This is coming from your object list one. And what's list one, class? We performed list apply. Okay. List. So it will generate a list. What will be performed? The function X. What's the function X? Adjusted get X. What is your X here, class? Your tickers. Okay. Your tickers is your X. So it will get the adjusted prices. Okay. Adjusted get X. And then it will create a list out of that. So we generated that a while ago, this list one. And then from this list, we want to merge. Okay. We want to merge using the function do that call. Okay. The call is to merge. Okay. Do is to merge it, calling the list object, list one. And then the data, control enter, let's see. So I now have this object data here, data. Okay, and then it is your adjusted prices. Okay, so you compare this with the RPF a while ago, it's the same. So what's this all about, class? It's about another way of extracting your data after you get it from using quant mode to get symbols. Okay, you can do the L apply first and then do that call. Okay, without having to go through PF and RF. Of course, PF and RF are more convenient. Okay, they're more they're easier kasi isa lang, no, RF lang. Ito, class, kasi nag two layers tayo. Nag-L apply muna and then do that call. Okay? All right. So we have now what do we have? Yung prices natin, di ba? We have our prices data that we generated using the okay. Okay, let's change the name here. Let's call this prices class. Prices. So we will overwrite what we wrote a while ago. We will merge class yung list one and then generate this object prices. It will be the same as the prices from the RF function here. Same lang. I-overwrite natin. Okay. All right. This is the prices object. Yan, prices, no? 8 assets. These are the adjusted prices. then we can just change the dito na, no? Ito, inulit ko lang, sorry class. I just repeated this. And then here, just change the name, Control X. Column names of the prices, give it tickers. All right. So I just changed the name data into prices. And then I'll change the column names kasi yung column names and prices natin, Apple.adjusted. So let's simplify that. Let's just make it the names of the tickers. Control Enter. So now your column names for your prices will be Apple, Google na lang. All right. Once again, class, I'd like your feedback, class, if you're able to follow. Okay, paki-yes naman, class, if you have any questions. I don't want to continue with so many of you not being able to follow. Kindly confirm, class, if you were able to create this prices object and yung name siya yung tickers. Ito, no? Tickers, ito. Yan, Apple, Google. Ito na, class. This one. Okay, I'll wait for your chat, class. Thank you. Richard, thank you. Aisha. How about the others? I'm not getting the response rate I would want, class. You're only a small group, class, 10. I was hoping that all 10 of you will participate and tell me. In case you're having any problem, please tell me so that we can address your problem. Okay, three students. Let's wait for the other 7. Hopefully they respond. The others, class? Okay, thank you. All right, good. Okay, if you have any problems, class, please, you know the drill, class. Just ask questions. We'll try to address your problem, your question. Okay, so let's now go here, class. Let's create an object. Let's call it ano ba yung ginamit natin kanina? Returns, no? Okay, let's just make use of returns na rin para to be consistent. We'll just overwrite yung returns object natin kanina. Okay? Kanina, class, how did we generate returns? We made use of the RF function. Here, we're manually creating the returns from the prices object. So let's change this. We use ROC, class. What's ROC? Rate of change. So we have used already before yung return that calculate returns. Okay, we have used those functions in order to generate returns. Another one is ROC. So this is coming from your TTR package. Okay, technical trading in rules. Okay, ROC stands for rate of change. So we didn't load TTR a while ago because when you load quant mode, it already comes pre-packaged with it. Okay, loaded na rin siya, class. In fact, if you check your packages, okay, I won't show that anymore. You can just check it out yourself. If you look for here, TTR, class, in the packages, TTR, and see if it's loaded, you'll notice that it is checked. Because once you load quant mode, then automatically TTR comes with it. So this just computes, class, for the returns, no? And type is equal to continuous. So let's change this. I'll call this returns. It's to be consistent with the name. And then here, okay, since Control C, Control V, and then Okay, take a look at this class. What's happening? We're computing for the returns of prices. This prices object which contains the adjusted prices. So we compute for returns using ROC, rate of change. Type is equal to continuous or log returns. So just understand that continuous returns class are log returns. Huh? Log returns. Okay, run natin and view. Control enter. And then we can see here that just like the RF function a while ago, there are missing values here, NA values. Why is that so? Class, kasi the formula for returns is the price at time t over the log of the price of time t over price time t minus 1. Now we have the price in the prices object. We have this value, but we don't have the previous one, so that this will not have returns. Okay, all right. We have explained that in the past. So we just remove the -1 by subsetting returns -1. So now we have deleted the NA value. Okay, so kindly please comment in the chat box if you're able to follow. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Let's wait for the others. Feedback. Okay, I think Lian also. Thank you. Aisha. Thank you. Eliza. Thank you. So only 5 respondents. Okay, so we're going back to, as we said, this is all about portfolio optimization. So let's have a review of how to compute for the returns of a portfolio. And then we'll also go into the standard deviation or the variance or the risk of the portfolio. These things are very important for your analysis and discussion. Okay, so let's first choose two assets, Control C. I'll share this to save on time. Control V. Ay, sorry. Hindi, ito. Notes ko lang yan for myself. Okay. All right, let's change it. Okay, change ko lang natin na. All right, so let's create first a portfolio of two objects, and then we'll create all again. So let's just call this port 2, no? Port 2 means two returns, and then we will use the returns class, returns. Let's just change this, returns, and then all the rows and just the first two columns. So let's call this portfolio of two assets. Sorry, Control Z. Okay, so you can write this now. So let's create this object called port2, and it's a subset of from your returns. We include all the rows and just the first two columns. This is returns object, no? This is a returns object. So if we just subset the first two, it will only be Apple and Google. So this is just to try to create two assets, portfolio of two assets. So let's call it port 2. Okay. And then let's view port 2. Port 2 now contains only Apple and Google. Okay. So I hope that's clear, class. All right. So let's now compute for the returns of Apple and Google of your portfolio of two assets. Let's assume that they're equally weighted. Of course, they can be not equally weighted. One can be 70%, 30%, etc. but the total should be 100%. Okay, let's assume that the weight is 50-50. Okay, so let's use here, let's change this class. Port 2 returns, no? Port 2 returns using portfolio analytics, then we have returned that portfolio. And then you have here port 2, and then define the weights, 0.5, 0.5. Okay. And then this should be 2. Column names port 2. Sorry about this. And this is, okay, port 2. I'm just changing the name class. Daily return, it should be port 2. Annual ret, let's remove that. Daily return, okay. All right, let me just share this with you to save on time. Control C. Okay, what are we doing here, class? So we're creating this object port 2 ret. So it's a portfolio of returns. Okay, and then what are we computing, class? The returns of portfolio 2, Apple and Google. And then we have to define the weights. Since there are 2 assets, then you should define 2 weights, 0.5, 0.5, meaning it's equally weighted. Of course, that can be 0.7 and 0.3, 0.2 and 0.1, etc. Okay, and then let's view, class. Let's view this object. Control Enter. There you go. Notice now that there's only one object. Okay, there's only one column. Why is that so, class? Why is that there only one column? Because from this is our where's our port 2. Let me just flash port 2. Portfolio 2 here. So this is our port 2 class, diba? Apple and Google. So how do you compute for the returns of your portfolio of Apple and Google? So take note that there will be returns every day. And since they are 50-50, equally weighted, so that's just equivalent to the returns of Apple times 50% plus the returns of Google times 50%. Or we can just get the average of this because that's simply the average. Okay, so let me see. Average or mean. Let's get the mean of from port 2. So this is what is this object class? Port 2, no? Average of port 2, and then let's just take the port 2 class. So it should be the average of port 2 Apple, and then port 2 Google. Okay, what's this telling us, class? Mean, class. We're getting the average. The average, class, is 1/2, diba? 1/2. So what we're doing here is we're getting Google, and then we're getting, sorry, this should be Apple. Okay, and then I want you to comment on this because there's something wrong here. I deliberately, okay. So what's wrong here, class? Is this wrong, class? Is this wrong or is this correct? What will the mean do, class? The mean is actually, class, it's this plus this divide by 2, right? Or you can distribute 2. Okay, we can this divide by 2 or 0.5 times this times 0.5. So, class, it's just like computing for the contribution of each of the returns of the asset by multiplying each of them by 0.5. Okay? So if we run this class, okay, ano yung mali natin? Mean of port 2 Apple. Okay. Dali. Mali. Wait. So what we're going to do, class, is get this, class, get this times 0.5 plus get this times 0.5. Okay, so let's just make use of the first one. Let's just take a look at it on a daily basis. No? So we have port 2, class, port 2. Okay, dollar, Apple. And then we're just going to get the first one, the first object. Okay, and then we multiply this by 50%. And then plus, this time we get port 2, dollar, Google. Okay, and then we just get the first observation and then times 0.5. So what are we doing here? Okay, port 1, subset number 1. So it's this one plus times 0.5. So 50% of this, and then plus, also do the same for Google. Port 2, Google, this one, get the first observation, then times 0.5. Control Enter. So I'm getting negative 0.012. Okay, if we now compare that class with the one that we generated a while ago, ito, no, yung port 2 ret. This one, class, port 2 ret. Here, 0.012190807. Exactly the same, class. Okay, so in order to compute for the portfolio returns, class, you have to know the weights, and then you multiply the weights of each of the asset to its log returns. So that's about it. So that's very simple, class. So we have here the daily returns, no? And then we can get the average of this, average of your port 2 ret. Okay. All right, so let's go here. Let's change the column names of port 2 ret. Mali ito. Kasi yung port 2 ret natin, ito, ang ano niya, portfolio that returns, no? So let's just change the column names by into port 2 underscore ret, or any way you want, class. This is just an exercise on reminder how to change column names. Column names, Control Enter. So you can see here, nabago na yung ano niya, no? Nabago na yung ano, yung column name. Okay. Dali lang, class, ha? Just a second. Okay. So where are we, class? Okay. We have changed the name, class, and then we can compute for the average daily return. No? How do we get the average return? Let's change this average daily ret. Just make it daily ret. And then average year, annual rate. Okay, I just changed the name, class. All right, how are we going to do this, class? How do we get the average daily return? Simple, class. Just get the mean of our port to ret. But this is our object port to ret. Port to ret, class, portfolio of 2, and then the returns, the portfolio returns. So isa na lang, class, only one portfolio returns kasi we have computed for the contribution of the assets to the portfolio. So you'll only have one daily return. Okay, so even if you have 10 assets, if you compute for the portfolio returns, then you'll generate only one return. Okay, so then we compute for the average daily rate, just the mean object. Okay, let's run this. So this is your average daily return. And then how do you compute for the annual return? The annual return is computed by, I have to change this, the average daily rate, Control C, Control V, okay? The average daily return, class, multiplied by 252, class. Because there are 252 trading days in a year. Okay, so if we run this too, the average daily rate is 0.008867. The average annual return is 22.34%. Okay, let me pause for a while and seek your feedback, class, if you're able to follow. Naintindihan, class? Your feedback is appreciated, class. Okay, good. I hope the others are able to follow, class. No, I'm not getting 100% feedback from this class for whatever reason, but I hope everybody's able to follow. And reminder lang, class, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions. Okay? All right, so let's continue now. Okay. A while ago, we just used the eight assets. Okay? So what we'll do now, class, is, okay, I have to change this. Returns. Portrait all, and then let me see, daily ret, annual ret. I'll just include all para to distinguish it from the other all. So this should be, okay, portrait all, daily ret all. Okay, in the interest of time, class, allow me to share this code with you. So I think you understand this. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this code. So we're creating this object. Return that portfolio, class, as you know, is from performance analytics. I'll just remove this, class. Okay, to save on a bit of space. We need C here. Okay. So we're using, class, the return that portfolio. So we're creating this object portfolio returns of all the assets, because a while ago we just used 2 assets, right? And then we're going to use the returns object. These are the log returns. And then, okay, take a look at this, class. 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here we're assuming equally weighted class, no? Since we have 8 assets, so 1/8 will be the weight of each asset. Of course, if they're not equally weighted, then you have to define that 0.2, 0.1, and all of them should total 100%. Okay, so this is equally weighted. No? Each one will have 0.125 or 1/8. Okay, let's create this object portrait all. Okay, let's run this first and then let's view this. Control Enter. Okay, so you notice now, again, just one return. No? Just one return because we summed up all the contributions of the assets based on their weights. Okay? So let's just change the name, column name, no? Let's just call it portrait all. Okay. And then let's compute for the daily returns class, the average, same thing, just get the mean of your portrait all, this one. And then annual ret all will be just the daily returns times 252. Okay, so let's run this. So we change the name of the, okay. Ano mali dito? May mali, why? Why am I getting this? Okay. All right. So did you get this class? Ah, wait. It's a spacing. Okay. 0.00754. Okay, this is the average daily rate. So you can see that it's less than yung Apple and Google lang. So most probably, Apple and Google are the highest performers na pwede. Tapos ang annual return ni Apple at saka ni Google, 0.22. Average annual rate, ito naman 0.19 lang. Okay, so the 8 assets. Okay, are we clear so far, class? Any questions? Paki-chat naman please kung so far okay tayo. Feedback please, class, if we're okay. All right, good. Okay, now I will leave this to you, class, as a reading material. Okay, with rebalancing. I want you to read this, class, and understand what is rebalancing, class. That's a very important concept as far as portfolio management is concerned. Okay, because what happens, class, with your portfolio is that initially you have your weights, class. But how do you compute for your weights? Let me just illustrate that. So suppose the market value of your asset one, let's say the market value of your asset one, asset two, asset three. Let's say the market value is 100, and then this is, let's say 200, and this is, let's say 300, 300. So 300, for example. So therefore, the weight of one is, let's make this, let's make it easier to compute. 100, 250, 350, and then 150. Okay, ganun na lang, class. 100, 250, 350. So all in all, the total is 500. Okay, so we can easily compute for the weight of one. So this is 20%. No? 20%. This is how much class? 25 to 50. Over 500 is 50%, right? This is 250 out of, ano ba to? Oh, sorry, mali. The total is, what's this? But 500. 150, 250, tama class. So this is 150 out of 100. This is 30%. So these are the weights, class. These are the weights of your assets. Now, over time, class, the assets would most probably change their market values. Okay? So perhaps after 1 month, itong 100 yung market value nito naging ano na, naging 120 na. Let's suppose in 250 naging bumaba, let's say naging 230. Tapos yung 150, let's say the same, 150 pa rin. So what happens? Therefore, their weights will now change. Kasi iba na yung total, di ba? Iba na yung total, tapos iba na yung iba na yung magiging iba na yung magiging weights ng assets natin. Now, there may be a reason why you would like to maintain 20%, 50%, at saka 30%. There could be a compelling reason. Maybe it's the mandate of the stakeholders, maybe. So if the weights change, then what happens, class? The contribution of the assets to the portfolio return will be changing. And if management wants to maintain this balance, na itong 20%, 50%, 30%, then what should happen is that at the end of the period, then there should be a rebalancing. How is rebalancing done? So sell one and buy the another, so that it goes back to the 20%, 50%, 30%. So for example, now the weight of asset number one, let's say, is now no longer 20%, but 24%. Ito sabihin natin naging 45% na lang. Sabihin natin ito 30% pa rin. So what will happen now, class? Then we will have to sell off some portions of asset one and buy assets of asset two in order to maintain the 20, 50, 30% balance. And you call that, class, rebalancing. Okay, so very important concept. So I gave you a reference. This is from Investopedia. There are other references, class. Please check, class. Please read this. Okay, because we're going to need this information later on. Okay. Clear? All right, it's almost time. So let me just, okay. I just share this with you, class. This one. Portrait. Let's just change the name and then call it underscore rebalance. This is your returns before I send it to you para same tayo. And then rebalance on month. So this is monthly rebalancing. Then i-view natin to. Control C, Control V, and then change the column names, Control V. Just call it portrait rebalance. Portrait rebalance. And then this one, mean of, I have to change this. This is this one. Okay. Check na lang natin, class, ha? Okay. So I'll just, baka may nagkamali ako dito sa code ko dito. Anyway, we'll just check that next time. We'll continue next time. I'll send this code to you. Paki-check na lang, class, no? All right. So next time we're going to do rebalancing. Okay, sorry. Ano ko pala siya class. Control C, give this also to you in the chat box so that we're the same as the other section. All right. So we're going to continue this next time, class. And then we will proceed with portfolio optimization already. Okay. Let me stop